Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I'm here with a Diamond in the Rough. His name is Benton Whitley. He's an edge rusher out of Holy Cross. What's going on today, sir?
Nothing much. How are you?
Oh, just hanging out, man. Spring is here. A lot of things are happening right now. We got the draft like right around the corner. And I know you've been busy with a lot of things going on in your life. So, uh, talk to me about this process for you, if you don't mind. I mean, obviously, we got this draft happening. Give me just sort of a feel as to how you're dealing with this process overall.
Yeah, it's been really exciting since the end of the season till now. It's really just been a lot of football, just talking football with scouts and playing football and just working out. So like I love it so far.
Awesome. So for the people that may not know you and your story, can you just kind of give us a little bit of your background, if you don't mind, like where you're from and how you ultimately got there to the Holy Cross?
Yeah, so I'm a Springfield, Massachusetts kid, which is Western Mass. Uh, Big wrestler growing up, and I played football as well. I went to Minichaw Regional High School, which is in Wilbraham, a town over from Springfield. And I actually I was heavily under recruited in high school, and I was actually going to wrestle in college. And so uh, instead of wrestling, my senior year of high school, we went to the Holy Cross football camp as a team. And I got pulled to the side by a couple of coaches. They kind of had me run around a little bit. They saw how I was built. They looked at my highlight tape and they offered me a full scholarship. So I actually took that over wrestling because I saw a better future in football. And so came in as a linebacker, transitioned to defensive end, put on about 50 pounds, and here we are.
Cool. So let's backtrack a little bit because I kind of want to talk about your time there in high school. Did you play any other position rather than defensive end, outside linebacker?
Yeah, I played tight end, but I played the Y, and we had a full spread offense, so I was typically like off the line except for certain packages, and I ran a lot of crossing routes and things like that. But my primary position was defense. That's just what I was better at.
Cool. So when was the last time you actually scored a touchdown?
I'd probably say yeah, high school. Yeah, yeah, like middle of the season, high school. Yeah.
Cool, cool. And then you were saying that you were a big wrestler back in high school. The note that I was able to pull up for you is that you were practically undefeated. Very good. Very great wrestler. 49-1 is the record that I was able to pull up with you, which is fantastic. So, talk about your time as a wrestler.
Yeah, I started wrestling around when I was 7, and my dad put it like he had unfinished business in college, so he got me in wrestling like really early. Started his own team, and I started in youth, and then I eventually joined a club, and we were traveling to PA, New Jersey, things like that. Like it was really serious, and then I got to high school and got bigger, and I kept on wrestling, and I ended up winning 2 state championships, and went to nationals a few times, and then I just decided to play football in college because I saw a better future with it.
Cool. Well, I mean, obviously, the future in wrestling, if you're ever big into wrestling, is like the WWE type of wrestling, because that's where you can really make some money. Not
Or
like,
MMA, yeah.
yeah, maybe some MMA, but I mean, it all depends on how much you want to get beat up and to what extent. So that's kind of what you're into. So, so former wrestling guy, how do you feel like that really helped you kind of transition into being really the good football player that you were for Holy Cross?
Well, first off, I feel like wrestling work ethic is a little different than it is in almost every other sport because it's a individual sport. So like you're one on one with another guy, and if like you ever slack on your training or you're not going like 100%, you get beat, and it's like a fight. So like you get beat. It's one on one, and so I feel like the work ethic really transferred over to how to prepare for football games and things like that, and also just like understanding leverage and using my hands and just controlled aggression. I feel like that all helps on the football field, especially at my position.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you in some one-on-ones. I mean, really being able to use a quality bend and good balance, and able to obviously win the one-on-one matchup. So did well, very well in your conference. You were a three-time All-Patriot League, which is sweet. So and then let's just kind of talk about you, just kind of as a player overall. I mean, I have you listed as an edge rusher. But what exactly does that mean? Can you kind of chat about you as a prospect?
Yeah, I feel like my strengths as a prospect definitely like lie within the edge, whether it be setting the edge and run, rushing the quarterback and pass. In college, we didn't really do too much in coverage at my position. Whether we typically only dropped to the hook curl window or like maybe cover the back out of the backfield occasionally. But I feel like my strengths mostly lie in getting after the quarterback and definitely setting that edge and run and stopping
Cool.
for loss.
And I was able to look up that you had trained at Landau Performance in Colorado. So how was that experience overall? Your pre-draft and them coaching you up for things like your pro day.
It was awesome. I trained with around like 20 other guys and like split up between offense and defense. So around 10 guys I was training with on defense, and I trained with we call him Augie. His name is Augustine AJ, and he was a great coach. Like he was actually a sprinter, and he actually went through the combine process himself, and he just told us everything about technique and how to really like prepare for like our 5, 10, 5, 40, and all that other good stuff. And also the altitude was awesome training in too.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be something, with the altitude, there a little bit. Certainly, I know some people don't think it affects much, but I think it does. That certainly affects your breathing.
Yeah.
Getting you prepared for that sort of thing. Um, I feel like you went out there and did a fairly decent job at your pro day. How do you feel like you did overall? At that event.
um I feel like I didn't quite hit all the numbers. I mean, I didn't hit all the numbers I was hitting in training, but like it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to dwell on it because like you get one shot to do a 5, 10, 5, and if you slip a little bit, it kind of hurts you. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad that it's now time to play football and that I'm kind of done training as a track athlete. I'm ready to kind of get on with playing football.
Yeah, certainly not a track athlete. If anything, a wrestler more so than a track athlete. So,
Yeah.
and then obviously a guy who, dude, I know you've put together some great film. Um, you're able to put together good enough film actually to get an invite to the NFLPA Bowl. So, chat with me for just a second about like how that experience was overall.
It was awesome, especially as an FCS guy, just being able to compete against guys from the FBS level. And we got time to talk with scouts. We got time after some of our days that NFL veterans or current NFL rookies got to come back and talk to us and kind of give us some knowledge and allow us to pick their brains about their experience in the NFL. And it was really eye opening, and just how the whole business works, and how much it really takes to be successful in the league. And so I loved it. It was an awesome experience.
Cool. So with all those guys there, the players and coaches and such, which one of those guys there you feel like you got the most out of? I mean, I don't want to maybe limit it so much, but I mean, who was the one
Yeah.
guy that you really came away from that one speech and just I don't know, there was just something that clicked in you.
Uh, I'm forget. I mean, there was a day when a few rookies came in, and just to name one of them, Chuba Hubbard for the Panthers, he was backing up Christian McCaffrey, and there were a couple other players, but I'm forgetting their name right now. But they're rookies, and so they're telling us about their rookie experience, especially in training camp, how they got limited reps, how they had to make the most out of each and every opportunity that they got, and how they were ultimately successful in what they were doing. And I feel like I came away from that discussion with the most useful knowledge and how I could probably succeed in at the next level.
Cool. So let's just kind of talk about a couple things. I mean, obviously, you're going to be making this transition to the pros here very soon. Just kind of for the sake of comparison, how do you feel like you have developed over the years there at Holy Cross? I mean, when you look at yourself coming in as a freshman and yourself now, how do you feel like how much do you feel like you have progressed? Can you just kind of chat through all that?
I feel like I've progressed a good amount, but I still feel like I have a lot to do. And I have a lot that I want to be able to show, like when I'm playing. I came in like mostly throughout college is really the physical transformation and getting stronger, getting bigger. I came in at 208 and now I'm around 260. And so I put on a lot of weight and a lot of thanks to my strength coach, Coach Grosky. He was helping me a lot with that, both in and out of the weight room. But I feel like now more than ever, I feel like the way I'm going to progress is through learning technique and just becoming a better situational football player and just making sure that I'm smarter on the field.
Cool. So, chat with me a little bit about some of those, things that you were able to do there on the field. I mean, is there maybe one particular game or play that kind of sticks out in your memory? Like, what's going to be that one lasting memory of you, playing there for Holy Cross?
Um, I don't know if I could pinpoint one play.
Give me a game, maybe, or you can give me a couple. I'd be fair with that.
Yeah, I feel like both the times that we played Georgetown at home, I feel like I had decent games, but especially the time we won the Patriot League championship. Just getting after that passer, getting after him, and he was just making a lot of mistakes. Ended up throwing two picks, one for a pick six, and I feel like that game, that was one of my favorite games at Holy Cross for sure because I just felt like I wasn't selfishly contributing uh, and like putting my job in jeopardy, but I was helping the team a lot. So yeah,
Gotcha. So, I mean, let's just sort of talk about your team there for a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of guys there that I feel are great players. Who there over the course of your time there has really just kind of impressed you the most?
There are a lot of guys that have really impressed me. But like the guys I can mostly speak on are probably the upperclassmen now. And out of them, like just on the D line, like there have been like the D lineman that worked opposite for me, Dan Kuznetsov. He brings it every day. He's a great kid. Jake Reichwein, Jason Modak is an extremely smart player. But more than anything, I feel like our linebackers really stand out, and they make our defense. We were the number one statistical defense in the country at FCS, and Jacob Dobbs and Liam Anderson, both of those kids are just they're the real deal. So I feel like our defense is really strong because of them for sure.
Yeah, I wrote down a few of those names that you had mentioned, in my notes. So the edge rusher opposite you, the linebackers there. I think a lot of people know who Jacob Dobbs is. So
Yeah,
he's definitely a playmaker there for real. And then just kind of some people there on the back end that I know I wrote down as well. John Smith, Devin
yeah, John
Haskins
Smith.
are some
Yeah,
guys that I wrote down. So obviously some great players out there to look forward to. Really next season. So we'll see how that develops for you guys, moving forward. So
hmm
um, I know there have been a lot of coaches that have poured into you over the years. I want you to take a moment and think about maybe one or two of the lessons that you've learned during your time, either at Holy Cross or maybe even going back to high school. Which one of those lessons do you feel sticks to you the most? Like a lot of these coaches, like they have their isms and such that they kind of throw at people like almost all the time. So, what's that one lesson that's going to stick with you?
well, I mean, my first coach, which was my dad, like he instilled a lot of lessons that I took, like, and he instilled the kind of attitude that I bring to the field and that I brought to the mat. And it's just go hard, don't be afraid of anybody. And I mean, what happens happens, but you never want to be a shoulda, coulda, woulda. You never want to be asking questions after the fact, wondering if you could have gave more. So just things like that, and then different coaches along throughout my wrestling career and my football career. At Holy Cross, I could name Coach Noonan, He was our old defensive line coach, and he would always talk about not feeling sorry for yourself. And I feel like that's just something you need, especially at this position. You can't feel sorry if you're hurting a little bit. If you have a bad play, nobody really cares. They don't care how you feel. It's just about the results. And so, and also Coach Pucko just going after it and getting it. So yeah, I've had some pretty good coaches.
Cool. Benton, kind of want to get a chance to step off the field a little bit, maybe talk about you outside of this game, maybe in your personal life, maybe in your academic life, or what have you. But interests, hobbies, give us something, man. Give me something that maybe not everybody knows about you.
Yeah, so I'm actually really interested in science, and I also have a lot of hobbies like music. I like to produce for fun. I like to produce and mix music, and I listen to mostly every genre except for country. I got to get more country in my playlist, but yeah, that's really me. And I like to play video games, of course. So
Cool. So when you say that that you mix music, what are you doing with it? I mean, are you trying to, become a producer? Are you trying to make money out of that, or what? How is that working for you?
I'm not trying to make money, but I feel like sometimes you listen to music, it just gives you a feeling. I'm like lately, as of late, like since I've been in college, I've been trying to make music and give other people that feeling. You know what I mean? It's just for fun. I feel like it's really cool being able to do that, whether mixing songs that already are made or just making your own songs. So
Cool. And I was really just kind of researching you before I came on here and found out again that you're a biology major with a what is it minor in environmental science, and you may end up being a doctor one day. So talk to me about that whole thing there, and maybe what you might want to pursue like after football's done.
yeah, I don't know if I necessarily want to take the pre med route, like go to be a doctor, but eventually I definitely want to get into research. And something that really interests me is like cancer research and study of cancerous cells and tumors and things like that. I've done research throughout college, and I just really find microbiology to be like essential to like our everyday life as humans. And so I feel like it's just really important moving forward into the future, and also is really interesting. So
Cool. And tell me a little bit about I don't know. Let's just talk about your hometown there,
yeah.
Springfield, Mass. So like, if I were to come visit you there, like, where would we have to go? What would we have to do?
Uh well, I mean, there isn't a ton to do in Springfield, but the people there are great. Everybody's a hard worker there, and sports are huge. Um, Around Western Mass, Springfield is a city of champions. That's what they call it. And honestly, like as time has went on, it's only gotten stronger and stronger. Like there are kids at Power Five programs getting Power Five offers. And there are kids coming up that will surely be in this position and in greater positions going forward. But in Springfield, there is the Basketball Hall of Fame. There's bright lights at Forest Park. I mean, there's not really like too much to do, but it's home. So yeah,
I feel you, buddy. Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see what at least your hometown has. So kind of like that. Ben, I mean, obviously, some guys that I know have followed you. A lot of scouts have seen you, and maybe you've sat down with several of them, whether it be at the NFLPA Bowl or along this whole process and such. I do see you as one of these guys who may end up hearing his name called during the draft. So I want you to maybe reach out to those guys that you haven't talked to yet, and I want you to hit them with your pitch. So go ahead and lay that on them. Why should they take a chance on you and draft you and bring you into their franchise? So go ahead and hit them with that.
well, I'd say first off, um, I've been saying this, but I'm a winner. That's the bottom line, period. And if I don't necessarily have the ability yet, I'll find a way to get the ability. And I promise you, I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can, both on and off the field, to make what's necessary happen and ultimately to help the team win games. So I'm going to give it everything I got.
Yeah, man, I definitely understand. You got a lot of goals that you've already, achieved, accomplished, and we have this, next one, that's just kind of right around the corner, and that is this draft. That is, you get your opportunity to maybe become an NFL football player. So I think it's very exciting. Sky's the limit for you, I believe. It's just a matter of who's going to give you that opportunity. So appreciate you coming on and doing this interview with me. All right, bud?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Sure. Once again, I have with me Benton Whitley. He's a defensive end linebacker out of Holy Cross. So definitely check him out.